Rolling.
Hey guys, I'm Tim, and the Q show is wrapping up, but a couple of you have asked questions about sort of how I did it behind the scenes. So come on in, and I'll show you. This is my apartment building. This is my apartment. Come on in. This is the Q show's. This is the Q show studio. Come on in. So this is just one bedroom of the one-bedroom apartment. In which we do the Q show. It's all very basic. The curtain I come out from behind is just a stand that I set up in the middle of the bedroom wardrobes there. It's just like what suits I had. And this is my desk, which became the sort of workstation, and so I set up the piano as both like a desk and a thing to play. Hung my one boom mic. I'm running an older RME audio interface into the desktop machine. And except for lately, I've started actually running it off my Surface, which works better because I could do the sliders and stuff on the mixer with my hands. The camera, our main A-cam, is a Sony X70, which is like the smallest. I don't think they make it anymore. They're making a slightly newer version, but it's the like smallest 4K capable broadcast standard camera that Sony makes. So it's got a 1-inch Exmor sensor. It's got a great lens. It does all the formats you need. It's got good onboard audio. It's just in the smallest possible package. I bought this on purpose because it was really portable, and it's been perfect for this project. That's the only camera we've used. I have a ton of other cameras here, obviously, but that's really the only one we've used so far. I monitor with a external monitor. I have a couple of little Sony action cams that I thought about using, but I haven't really needed them yet, and we're shooting this on one of the many Sony phones. The big innovation was this long dowel that I just taped to the end of the tripod handle, which, because it's so long, actually gives you this really fine control of the very subtle movements of the camera, and it's positioned so this is just out of frame even at the widest focal length, which is great. I love this. I'm going to use it for even like nature photography and stuff like that because it's just better than any electronic one I've ever used. It just has a very nice, silky smooth kind of subtle control to it. Lighting is just like, this is empty monitor boxes. This is a homemade fixture that I built out of an old piece of cooler. These are residential LED cans that I bought. You can see in there. Anyway, residential replacement LED cans that I bought at the local home center. In audio, I use a little wireless lab. I'm actually using the ones made by Cinol. They stopped making these too, but I love them because they were comparable to the Sennheisers, but like half as much money. AWS 2000, no longer in production, unfortunately. And then that's pretty much it. I mean, I do some graphic overlay stuff. Obviously, I use Adobe Premiere for that. And there aren't really any special effects. The main thing is the workflow of the day is like constantly just writing. And my whole process was like 3x5 white index cards like this. I think of something, a joke or something, and write these down. I keep a stack of these each night, try and sort through them. But it was like an all-day process of like reading the news, figuring out what's going on, trying to figure out what I'm going to say that night, performing a musical act for that night, rehearsing that, and then trying to put it all together by 7 o'clock to turn the camera on, because every episode was done in a single continuous take, right? Like there's no cuts except for the shows in the very last week. And so it was like super fast paced. You can see I have a pillow and blankets underneath my desk because most nights I like slept here in my office. That was disappointing for you, but sorry. Anyway, yeah. You got any questions?
Tell us about your title.
The Q Show?
Mm-hmm.
I just started calling it The Show. Just the show tonight. And then I realized that was like not SEO'd, search engine optimized. It wouldn't show up in search. So I started calling it the Q Show, Q for Quarantine. But then I realized that that might be getting confused with the QAnon conspiracy theorists. So for whatever reason, I tried to advertise the show, and YouTube wouldn't accept my advertising. So, but it's been really fun. I mean, I've learned a tremendous amount. It's been crazy hard. I'm exhausted. What's interesting about it is, and by the way, I also don't have like a teleprompter at all. So because I didn't even have time to write bits and then project them to read. I just had to like ad lib everything. I think it says something really interesting about like what it costs to make a TV show. What I'm doing here is no different than what the late night hosts are doing. Seth Meyers or Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, or Trevor Noah, or John Oliver. I'm just doing it for way less money than they're doing it. Right? I did the entire show entirely by myself, and so with one other writer or a person to hold the camera and do graphics and DP editing. If only I had someone like that already in my apartment. Oh, wait. You could make a show that's comparable to those shows, but for a fraction of what we have traditionally spent on those shows. And so, maybe there can be more than 5 of them in America. Maybe there could be like 50, and they have slightly smaller audiences. But there's not anything wrong with that, I don't think. And this is like the entertainment industry now. That's the thing. It's like people keep behaving as though there's some switch that we're going to flip and it's going to go back on. I mean, Cuomo always said that entertainment is the phase 4 last thing to open businesses. So I don't know when those, live studio audience shows are ever going to come back. It might be a year or more. And so, we're going to not produce original content in the meantime? I hope not. I feel like I've demonstrated a functional model. So we'll see. Anything else that people want to know?
No.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching the Q Show, guys. This has been the behind the scenes special. There'll be one final adios. I think Friday. Maybe even Laura will appear on camera by Friday. Maybe. She says maybe. She's not sure. By the way, there is another person in my house who is also a filmmaker, but has been working in post on an entirely separate film the whole time I've been doing the Q Show. And she's done now that's her. She's my Nancy Fallon. But she's done now. So if you thought the Q Show was good, imagine what it would be like if it was done by 2 people instead of just 1. Thanks for watching, guys. You having trouble breathing? Did you get enough to eat today? Do you have a place to sleep that's warm and safe and dry? Say a prayer of thanks, because tonight you're one of the lucky ones. But tomorrow is another day.
Oh no, I don't know how to zoom on this phone.